How about this? I was thinking about our initials the other day, and the 5 of us, if you take the first letter from each of our first names, it spells ANEGG.
Wait,
you were thinking about
Andrew,
it's not you. It's not you.
Andrew, Nick, Eric, Jeff, and Jeff. And
Jeff
Egg.
might be the weird guy in this
Yeah.
one. I was sitting around thinking about our initials.
Jeff, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Man. That's what I'm here for.
When you said ANEGG and you visualized ANEGG, did you see
ANEGG.
anything specific, like a logo for it? Did anything pop in your mind? Anyone? Because I had something pop in mine.
How did this not come up in our Dumpty face?
I don't know. That's what I agree.
With the voice of Dumpty, literally, or an egg.
And we're an egg. Yeah, the boys of Dumpty are an egg.
Maybe this is my weird thing. I see ANEGG as like the Gap logo, but it's an ANEGG. Like that, but it says ANEGG. That's just what I saw. That's what I envisioned.
That's not what I see.
If ANEGG was a store, it would look like the Gap logo in my head. That was my vision. I was curious if you guys had any brand affiliate. So where did you get, first of all, how did you get to our initials being set that way? Were you just like trying to figure out different possibilities, or how did that happen?
I think about that stuff all the time.
Okay.
That's like when the way I came to it is I was thinking about trying to come up with a name for the podcast you and I recorded recently, Andrew.
This is a lot of teasing for a thing that might not be heard by anybody.
It's not a big. It's just like we were recording like a sports fandom thing. It was like a test. I don't know if we'll release it or not. I'm sure we'll release it, but we need to put at least one full episode in before we'll determine if it's releasable or not.
Yes.
But I was just trying to come up with a name, and that's like the first thing I always do. Like I always love
initials.
That like Jeff and Gus and Gavin were always 3G. I always thought that was kind of funny. Like coming up with like clever. So it's like whenever I'm trying to think of a name for something, one of the things I look at is like, what do our initials spell? Like, how could I make something out of that clever? And so I was doing that, and I thought I've never considered that for face. What letters do I have? And then I came up with ANEGG.
You think about names a lot, and you've named stuff Achievement Hunter and Face.
Listen. I think about names a lot, so I never come up.
Rooster Teeth?
I had nothing to do with Rooster Teeth. Listen. I had nothing to do with the name Rooster Teeth. That's Bernie Burns. I had nothing to do with the name Anma. That's Gustavo Sorolla. I wanted to call it Good Morning Gus, which is a great podcast name. And I stand by Face as a phenomenal podcast name. And I use Achievement Hunter as an example of why I need to think more about naming shit. So I don't name anything else Achievement Hunter again. So yes, I put a lot of thought into naming stuff because I don't want to be saddled with a dipshit name like Achievement Hunter for the rest of my life.
I got a name for you for an alternate. Instead of Good Morning Gus, Jeff, if you would have went Good Evening Gus, you would have got all your initials. All 3. GEG.
Yeah,
perfect.
That's true.
Perfect symmetry.
Gag. Unfortunately, it's a show about drinking coffee in the morning. And Gus doesn't want his name in the title. Have I ever talked to you guys? I know I've talked about this in another episode. Have I talked to you guys about my idea? I can't remember if it's like video game talk or Anma talk or podcast talk, so I never know. But have I talked to you guys about my idea where we all get a job at the mall together? So I want to work at Lids.
Oh, no, I need to work at Lids. People just ask me, how does this hat feel? I don't fucking know. I have no idea. I can't wear any of these.
It's big enough for this brain.
I work at Gap.
Why Gap? Is that a throwback to what I said with the logo? Is that the joke?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What was that response from that annoyed response from Andrew? Why Gap?
I was
going to say I want to work at ANEGG, but I just said Gap.
That would have been funnier.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the feedback.
You're welcome. I can't wait to be co-workers at a mall.
Here's why.
I don't want to work near Andrew. Let's have a few people between me and him.
Andrew, you have to work at Old Navy.
Oh man.
You have to work downstairs.
Oh, am I that crotchety? Did I come across that crotchety? I'm an Old Navy guy now.
You
Oh,
have to
man.
fold pants all day long.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
I was. Honestly, the pause, Gavin, and then the annoyance is I couldn't remember what it was. An egg, right? That was the.
I couldn't remember either. I was my pause.
Yeah, I was like, what was the thing that Jeff said?